Just wanted to briefly show you, after I finished the save from the last episode at cycle, we were right around cycle 1000. I left it running for a while just to kind of stress test the system to see where it was going to fail first. And it kept processing oil so that we kept making petroleum. You can see this filled up. It actually turned the oil into liquid locked petroleum and started spilling out. But then we started getting breaks in the liquid pipes bringing the oil in, and the heat messed up our automation. So this heat backed up into here, causing the drill to break, which caused the heat to spread out and vaporize this lock. So it worked, but it was, with nowhere for the petroleum to go, it caused everything to back up and break everything. So that's about what I was expecting. But the main reason I wanted it to run was to see the oil processing down here. So we're definitely producing more oil than we're processing. But it's hard to tell if that's true when the petroleum stops backing up. So I'm going to go back to where we ended the last episode. We're going to set up some petroleum burners with some automation so that it will always burn off the excess petroleum once we have enough stored for our purposes, so that this will keep running forever without ever backing up like this. But I just wanted to show you a little behind the scenes. Sometimes I'll do a stress test on stuff to see, like, I know it's going to break. I want to see what's going to break, so I have an idea of what to watch out for coming up in the future. So I'll be back once we get this back to where we were at the end of the last episode, and then we'll go from there. Okay, we're going to set up a few petroleum generators in this area right here, and we're going to set it up very similar to the way the natural gas ones are set up, because it's going to be similar in its byproducts. So I'm going to just put one down so we can do some planning and get this set up so that we have things going. But once we get this burning off some petroleum, the priority over here is that we're getting a lot of heat in this one area, so we want to set up a cooling system, which I'm going to put down here underneath where the petroleum generators go. So we're going to get this set up just a little bit here, and we're going to figure it out right now, and then we will get the cooling system in. And this is going to be set up so it's very similar to these other ones where I have some automation which turns it on, but then also it's going to have some automation that I connect to our petroleum tank that we're going to build, so that when the petroleum tank starts to overfill, it automatically fires up and burns off the excess petroleum, because we want to still get the other byproducts from the petroleum. We don't want to shut it off. Whereas in the case of these other generators, we want to shut them off as soon as we have I don't have any power connected to that. No distractions. Hold on. As soon as these are done getting us enough power, we want to shut them off because we want to conserve the fuel. With the petroleum, we want to continue to run this because this boiler creates enough water to create more oil to keep powering the boiler. So if we just run it forever, we are actually getting more out of it than just the power. We're getting excess byproducts that we're going to use. So we don't ever want it to be turned off, basically, is what I'm saying. So there's a problem here. Oh, this wire's not connected, so the hydrogen generators are running and never powering the system. Well, that was a mistake. Wonder how long that's been running. But okay, so petroleum generators can run on either petroleum or ethanol. We're going to run it off petroleum. It's going to produce carbon dioxide and polluted water. So we have 500 grams per second of carbon dioxide to deal with, and 750 grams per second of polluted water to deal with, and then we have a lot of heat. So it's very similar to the setup here, except that instead of small amounts of polluted water and carbon dioxide, each one of these is producing 500 grams. instead of 67. So we're 750 instead of 67. So it's going to be a lot more to pump out. So we may have to look in. We'll get a couple of them running and see how much we get, and then go from there. So let's just get a couple of them down. I put that one down to look at it. I don't think I switched it to the right material. I want this to be made out of steel. So let's do that. So we're going to have the same setup here where we have mesh tiles underneath so that the petroleum or the polluted water comes out, because I'm pretty sure this one, just like the natural gas ones, pumps it or drops it on the ground, but I'm not sure. I have not used these yet, so we're going to find out. Yeah, so that's the input for the petroleum. Ventilation. Oh, these may actually just release the carbon dioxide into the room. If that's the case, we may have to set this up a little different, but that's okay. We can always put in gas pumps to take care of it. With the natural gas generators, we have gas coming in and then we have carbon dioxide being pumped out. I'm not sure how these are done yet, so we'll have to wait until we get one built so we can take a look at it. We do have some other things we need to do down here, sealing things in and getting all the gases taken out. I might just seal the whole room off, vacuum it out, and then let the carbon dioxide build up and pump it out. I don't know if carbon dioxide is going to cause any issues with things. No liquid intake, no power wire connected. Okay, yeah, so that is the case. These are going to pump out. So they take up 3 tiles. Let's leave enough space for 2 more across. And we'll come up here and seal this room in. But we want to... I want to have access to get in from either side, so we will put a lock on this side. Why are you not letting me place a tile over you? That's fine. Oh, because there's drywall behind it. Interesting. Must have been a gravitas building there, and I missed a couple pieces of drywall in the background. Okay, put that there. Put that there. Okay, so while that's getting built, let's put a lock on the other side. This one's going to be a little more interesting because I have this power wire coming through. So we will have to put a joint plate to connect it like that. That means we need to deconstruct this, which will shut our power down for half a second. And then we'll go like this. Do the same up here. Okay. And then above here, we'll do this. We may have to do one deconstruct level 9. Let's make all these not priority 9 so I can get them sealed up and start getting a seal on here. But so that means the room will be sealed on the top and bottom. It'll be sealed here. We should put a entrance up at the top too to get them to the second floor. So like that. Plumbing. All up there. Okay, so while they're getting done, let's run a actually we can just run a regular pipe because this petroleum's coming out at a pretty decent temperature. We'll come up like this and straight across. So we're going to want this to be, we're going to use crude oil in these. That's all we need. Copy the settings to this. And then also to this side. Construct just the buildings. So once we're done, we'll have vacuum seals on both sides. Oh, I guess they counted that. Heavy watt conductive plate. I did that. So power, heavy watt conductive plate, rotate. Let me think about where I can probably, do I have enough space to put pumps up here? I don't, because those are 3 tall, even though they only look 2 tall. Can actually, let's just put let's jut this out like this. And we will deconstruct this tile. So then we can put a gas pump up in this corner. It'll allow all the gas to go up to the top. And get sucked out. And then last thing we need for the moment is to run a heavy watt wire to connect these. Okay, so these are starting to seal up. That's great. Petroleum starting to get pumped up. So all we got to do is finish that roof and finish these seals. And then we can start pumping our gas out. Let's do a gas pipe. We'll just connect this pump over here. But for now, until we have it all one type of gas, we will just vent everything out so we can get all this polluted oxygen out of the room. Okay, so we're really getting there. We're going to need to have power that comes up to that. So we'll use the power line right here that is on our liquid pump. And it can handle our gases as well. So you can see the carbon dioxide's coming off of these, and they're dropping out polluted water. The big question is, we just have 2 of these running. We want to do 6 more. We want to see if this pump's going to keep up with that, or if we're going to start backing up on polluted water. Because if we do, it's going to shut off. We can probably put in some automation here to make it so this pumps once it's full, and that if it gets too full, it shuts these off. But I definitely do not want to have the petroleum generators not running, because we want to continue to be burning off petroleum so that this doesn't back up. Because we're almost at the point where this is backed up already. So let me think about this. This is going to consume. This is. I'm not sure how much this is going to use the petroleum. I think we're just going to, instead of looking the numbers up, we're just going to do it by ear. This is working well, so we'll put them all in, and then we can just automate them with automation based on how many we need. So we're going to need mesh tiles underneath the top ones. And then we're going to need petroleum coming into all of them. Looks like this is doing fine, keeping up with that for the moment. We can cancel this wire. Okay, so let's disable this one for now. Looks like we got a seal on the whole room. I'm going to want to put in automation. Eventually, what we'll do is, for now, I want it to run completely out. We may once we get the petroleum backlog taken care of, we may shut these off for a little bit just so that I can vacuum the whole room out to get all the gases out. Because right now there's a lot of mixed gases. And I would like to get, I don't want to keep pumping carbon dioxide straight out here. I'd like to get it nice and emptied out so that we can get the carbon dioxide being pumped right into our carbon dioxide storage. Because the carbon dioxide coming off of these, we don't want to waste it. We're going to use it to feed some slicksters, because we're going to switch over to slicksters for our food purposes here shortly. That's our one of our end goals of this whole process. So, oh, this is not sealed on this side because I missed these two tiles. So let's get those put in real quick. But as far as power goes, none of these generators should run right now because these are going to do everything. In fact, all of these are only going to run if we run out of petroleum, or we eventually, when we have a storage tank for the petroleum put in, which will be soon, then while that's filling up, we'll run the other gases. But we're mostly going to be powered with petroleum very shortly. But heat is definitely a big issue. I think we need to focus on getting that fixed right away. So what I might do, I think what I'm going to do is set up a petroleum tank down here. And so that way we can just drop off the petroleum, we can shut those down, get all the gases pulled out of here before we keep pumping the carbon dioxide out. I think that's probably the smart thing to do. So I'm going to come back once I have a petroleum tank set up, how I want to store it, and then we'll go from there. It's so neat to just watch this do its thing. It's very nice when a plan comes together. Okay, I'll be back in a few. I got our petroleum tank all finished up with all its little bits and bobs and everything. So I'm going to show that off real quick. I have petroleum flowing out of this pump. It's coming down, and if there is room in the reservoirs, it's filling those up first. And once they fill up, it will drop off into the tank itself, similar to what we did with water before. We also set this so once this sensor hits 750 kilograms, meaning the tank is full, it'll shut off the output here. At the moment, I installed some valves here for liquid control. So right now we're only allowing 9 kilograms a second of oil to come in because this started to back up because we didn't have anywhere for petroleum to go while we were working on piping. So I just want to get this little tank back down to the point where it's supposed to be, and then we'll crank this back up. This is the valve controlling how much petroleum I'm letting out, and right now it's set to 0 so that I can fill up this reservoir and start to fill up the tank. The automation will be connected here too, so that once this gets full, it'll automatically fire on the petroleum generators no matter what. And then otherwise we'll just set up some automation that petroleum generators will only burn if we need the power. These are just so that I have some fine-tuned control for the time being. They probably won't stay there forever. Up here, I finished the cooling. So the loop is going around with polluted water, and it's cooling off all the power generators up top. It's cooling off the batteries, it's cooling off the power transformers, and then it comes back around and it cools off the steam turbine last, and it comes back through. I have this, I kind of over pressurized with water, so it's going to take it a while before it turns into steam. So I think I may actually need to pull some of that liquid out of there. But for now, I'm just going to let it see what happens once this hits the point where this polluted water also turns to steam, which won't happen until it gets to 119.4. So it's getting there. It's very close, but I'm already having overpressurized issues so that the steam turbine can't vent. So probably going to have to do something to fix that in a little bit, but we'll get to that. Originally, I had this set up so that we were pumping all the carbon dioxide out. And then I realized that it's kind of silly to pump all the carbon dioxide out of here just to have it go down and then take it all the way down to the oil biome where we're going to pump the oil back up. So I've started to build a little bit of stables here. I'm going to try to see how this works. And we'll put the slicksters in here, and then they can digest all this carbon dioxide, and then the oil can flow down here into a pump that we can pump straight into the petroleum generator. We'll see how it works. I'm not sure how many slicksters I'm even going to need, so we may need to expand this too to use it. Or maybe this will be just a small portion of it, and then we'll pump it off to a slickster farm somewhere else too. But for now, we're getting it built up, and we will see how that goes. I'll probably work on it a little more, just doing some testing, and then show it off in the next episode that we're in. As far as what we're going to be doing in the future, once we have all the food set up from the slicksters for this, and we have everything sorted out so that this can run pretty much by itself without any interaction, and I think it's finally time that we head off to our new asteroid. So we have a teleporter here that we're going to send someone through. We've already decided that that's going to be Psy, so let's see, where's he at currently? So we can see what he's up to. Psy's going to be the lead of our new colony. He's taking a nap. We're going to bring in 5 more duplicates to get the achievement for 20 duplicates, and then we're going to move several of them over to this new asteroid that we've discovered, our second asteroid at Gorgani, and start another little colony over here. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to make this a little self-sustaining colony, or if I'm going to have oxygen and other things brought in from the main colony yet. I haven't decided that yet, but our first step is to get somebody over here and get exploring, and we'll probably start doing that. We may have one more episode just to get everything finished up with the petroleum boiler, and then we're going to start doing exploration over here. So I hope you had fun watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment. Any feedback's always appreciated. But I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.